Hey there everyone, my name is Anthony Avina and welcome to another installment of The Writer's Corner. Today's episode is brought to you by the Book Depository. With some of the best book deals online, the Book Depository is one of the leading providers of books across the world online. If you want to see what the latest deals are, the latest deals, specials, discounts, and more, make sure you click the link down below in the description box to go to the Book Depository and you check it out. If you are a lover of books as much as I am, then you will want to check out thebookdepository.com. Alright guys, so as you know, my name is Anthony Avina, and I am an author. Last week, or a couple weeks ago, the last episode of The Writer's Corner, I should say, I taught you guys how to create a protagonist. I thought I'd keep that tradition going today, and so today I'm going to show you how to create an antagonist, or, as I like to think of him, or her, the villain of your story. And that was my evil laugh. And whether you want to admit it or not, everyone loves a good bad guy. What fan of the show Heroes didn't get excited anytime Siler showed up on screen? How many fans do you think flocked to a theater just to see Tom Hiddleston's Loki in the Marvel films? I mean, come on, really. No matter how heinous a villain is, no matter how horrible the actions he takes in a story, he is the force. He's the, or she, the antagonist, villain, person thingamabob, which is the technical term. They are the driving force behind the story. That without them, there is no protagonist to care about. You know, a protagonist in a story like this needs an opposing force, and the villain or antagonist brings the problems or the conflicts that the protagonists face to the forefront of the story. Without an antagonist in a story, like for an example, today's example story is going to be I Was a Teenage Killer. Without an antagonist, the story becomes boring, becomes, you know, uninteresting. You pretty much get Keeping Up with the Kardashians, which is really boring. I'm sorry, just saying it. Even though some of you may be able to consider the Kardashians the antagonists, but there is no protagonist of that show. So, getting back to the real world. So, without further ado, here are 3 easy steps to me, as a writer, creating an antagonist. Alright, step 1 of this is pretty much similar to the steps when you're creating a protagonist. And this is what I like to call getting back to basics. What that means is you got to figure out who your antagonist is. Is it a male or a female? What is their job? How old are they? What's their name? You know, how tall are they? What kind of background do they have? That kind of thing. That is the first step you want to take. Without knowing who your antagonist is, there's nowhere to go from there. Really, creating any character, but especially the protagonist and antagonist, knowing the basics of who that character is, who that person is going to help define what your story becomes. For instance, in I Was a Teenage Killer, my antagonist is probably the main character in this story, actually, which is Lisa Etron, a teenager who, by all appearances, is a normal, bubbly 18-year-old cheerleader who is beloved by her hometown, who gets the guy who has girls adoring her and wanting to be her, guys wanting to, of course, sleep with her. It's a typical popular high school girl. But what no one realizes, what no one knows, is that she's actually a deeply disturbed young woman who enjoys inflicting pain and suffering on as many people as she can. She is a killer. So that is what I talk about finding basics. She's a high school cheerleader, or just a high schooler if you prefer that way. Her name's Lisa Etron, lives in the South in North Carolina in a small town called Willow Springs. You know, that's who she is. That's what she presents to the world. That's what she is has become. Now, the deeper seated stuff, like her being a serial killer, that's the deep seated issues. And that's what brings me to step number 2. That is for 2. Step number 2 is finding out what kind of antagonist you want the person to be. Do you want a sympathetic villain, wherein you learn that there is some sort of childhood trauma that made them become a villain? Did they suffer at some point? Did something happen to like create a villain rather than be born a villain? Are they a villain that's in it for wealth, fame? Are they doing it for love? Is it a misguided attempt at love? Or are they like my main character, Lisa Etron, in I Was a Teenage Killer, in which they just really enjoy inflicting pain and misery wherever they go? That's who Lisa Etron is in the story. On the surface, she kills because she wants to be infamous. She wants to get fame. But beneath the surface, fame and infamy are just consequential of her actions. She just loves to kill people. She is evil incarnate. That is why step number 2 is really important. It's like the key ingredient in figuring out your antagonist. What kind of villain do you want to make? The third and final step that I will tell you guys is really important and is like the final cement into who your antagonist is you got to figure out, 1, how they know the protagonist, and 2, what causes the villain to oppose the protagonist. And I'll go off of my example of I Was a Teenage Killer. Lisa Etron is the antagonist. She is the main character, but there are 2 protagonists in the story. The first is her boyfriend, Dave Trent. Pretty much another high schooler. He is kind of he's not a jock, he's not like in any clique, but he's not unpopular either. He's just kind of there. He has always had a crush on Lisa. They've been friends for a long time, and she goes out with him, and he feels overjoyed, and he's in love. They fall for each other, but her affection for him only runs so deep. His life gets completely turned upside down towards the end of this novel. I don't want to give away anything, but his whole world just crumbles around him. And she doesn't take to the fact that he is not a killer like her. He can't understand by the end of this book how she could do the things that she does, how she could revel and enjoy the pain that she causes. So, he is the one protagonist. The other protagonist is the lead homicide detective investigating the murder she's committed without realizing she's the one behind it. His name is Jack, and head investigator. One of the murder victims is actually his partner on the force, and so he's really invested in finding the killer. And for some strange reason, fate, some sort of unseen force, is at work in the novel, helping give him visions through his dreams of things that have happened a certain way, without revealing the identity. Just enough clues to kind of get him on the right track. Key ingredient: make sure you figure out who your protagonists are, who your antagonists are, and how they know each other, and what causes them to oppose one another. In this case, Lisa Etron likes to kill people. She enjoys it. And this puts her at odds with Jack and Dave, who are, down-to-earth, normal people who want to see justice done. So, there you have it. There you guys have it. Thank you for watching this edition of The Writer's Corner. And if you guys are watching the screen right now, you guys should be seeing some annotations. In the annotations around me, you'll see an annotation to the Writer's Corner playlist, or the last episode of the Writer's Corner. I'm not sure which one yet. You'll also see a playlist annotation for my March 2015 vlogs. For those of you who are new to the channel, I don't only do these Writer's Corner episodes or Friday videos, I also do daily podcasts and I do daily vlogs. So make sure you check out the podcast playlist and the March 2015 vlogs playlist, which are all annotations around me. That's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Give this video a big thumbs up if you haven't yet. Also, like this video, comment on it, favorite it, and share it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It is Wednesday when you're watching this, so there are 2 days left till my birthday, which is going to be on Friday, March 20th. I am making a push to have a, whatchamacallit. I'm making a push to get to 500 subs. I'm not sure if I'll get there by Friday, but I'm really hoping that with some hard work we'll get there. So my call to action to you guys is to not only subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, but to help spread the word about Avina Vlogs on your social media sites. Put the link somewhere. I'm looking to build a really nice community here. I want to entertain people with my writing and with these videos, and I really enjoy this. And I just want to keep building this community up more, and it'd be really awesome to get to 500 subscribers by Friday. So, if you haven't yet, please subscribe, help spread the word. My other call to action to you is little acts of random kindness by #SpreadHappiness. Pretty much just leave a nice note for someone, give your family member a hug, play with your dogs, do something nice for someone else. And spread happiness around the world. Let's make this world of ours a better place. Let's lift each other up. And as always, thank you for watching The Writer's Corner. I will see you next week with another episode. This is Anthony Avina with Avina Vlogs, author Anthony Avina, and, just me in general. This is me, signing off. Long days and pleasant nights, everyone. Yeah. You just start writing as soon as the idea comes into your head. There are a lot of different avenues to exploring and writing a brand new story. For me personally, the thing I like to do when I first begin writing a story is come up with my protagonist, the main character of the story, if you will. The story kind of hinges on who your main character or characters are.